to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust that I don't have to be.
Hello and welcome to the new and improved Beginner Pilates series for 2023. My name's Margaret. I'm a certified Pilates instructor and I'm going to be moving you through this series. Today we are back with another standing Pilates class, and for every standing class you have the option to have a chair or a wall or a countertop or a desk or something that you can hang on to and use for a little bit of extra support. You have the option to situate yourself next to any of those things. I've got a chair, and I'll be honest, this chair is kind of short for me. So if I were maybe 5'5" or 5'4", this would be perfect, but it's a little short for me. So if you would like to situate yourself in a space that will give you access to something that you can reach for some additional support, go ahead and set yourself up there. Today we are working a little bit more on balancing. So if me telling you that makes you more inclined to get near something you can reach for, you can pause for a second and then restart me when you're ready. We'll start off just like we did in our other standing class, feet about hips distance apart. You'll press down into your heels, wiggle the toes a little bit, see how things are feeling. Press down into the big toe. Can you roll some weight to the outside edges of the feet? Big roll of the shoulders to open up through your chest and relax the shoulders down and back. Soft bend into the knees. We'll take 4 deep breaths. Inhale through your nose. Fill your body up with air, expanding through the rib cage from side to side and front to back. And then exhale out, let it go. Good. For 3, inhale. And exhale, let it go. For 2, inhale. And exhale, let it go. 1 more, inhale. And then exhale, let it go. Good. With that last exhale, just walk your feet out a little bit wider than where they are right now. You're going to take your hands and bring them behind your head. You can interlace your fingers together, reach your elbows out towards the sides of the room. Now, if you found you really liked using your hand towel to support your head with things like this, you could take your hand towel and hold on to it right about here and use the hand towel to support your head. I'm cool with that. Tuck the tailbone under so you're really in your neutral spine. Press down into the heels. We should be able to feel right heel and left heel pretty evenly. Inhale, you're going to take a little twist over towards the right. And think about twisting from the belly button up. Exhale as you take things back through center. Inhale, you'll find that same twist over towards the left. Exhale, you come through center. Good. Now it's your entire upper body rotating from the belly button all the way to the crown of the head. Sometimes when we get into rotation, people like to move their arms and not rotate the rest of their spine, but this is a spinal rotation. So we want to get everything involved. This is going to be 2 over towards the right, and then 2 to the left. We'll do 1 more over to the right. Good. And then 1 more over to the left. Good. Everything through center. You can pause right here. Keep the elbows reaching out. Soft bend into the knees. Anchor down into your heels. Inhale. We think about lifting up, standing a little bit taller, and then we'll exhale. We take a side body stretch, reaching that right elbow really down in the direction of the ground. Exhale, you'll come all the way up through center. Inhale again. You think about reaching up to then take it up and over, reaching that left elbow down. And then exhale, bring it up. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Good. I know I said we were focusing on balance at the start of this class. Right now, I'm just having you warming up your spine, the sides of your body, warming up all the muscles that make up your core, and that will help us to balance a little bit better once we get into things. One more each way. Keep breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Good, and then you can take your arms down. Take a second. I'm gonna turn towards my chair just so I have a little bit of extra support right here. Feet about hips distance apart. I want you to lift up onto your toes, lifting both heels. Drop your right heel down, bend into your left knee, and then switch. We'll switch and switch just to wake up the ankles, wake up the toes a little bit. I always have to make sure my feet are actually in the frame. They are. If you feel like you don't need the support to help you get through this, you can take your hands away, maybe bring your hands to your hips. That's one that I always like. Hands at the hips makes me feel pretty balanced. We'll do about 4 more each side. It's 4, for 3, for 2, 1 more. Good. Both heels can press down. We still should be pretty close to that chair. If you're not, go ahead and get there. I'm going to flip back towards you guys just so that I can get the movement in that I need to. We'll press down into that left heel, slight bend into the left knee. Left hand can reach towards your chair. You're going to lift your right foot up. So you bring it forward a little bit. You don't have to lift it all the way up here. Right about here is perfect. We'll circle at the ankle for 4. So make a circle for 3, 2, and 1, and then reverse that circle. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot comes down. It's the same thing on the left. Left foot comes a little bit forward. You can lift up from the hip so that knee comes a little bit forward. Circle the ankle. 4, and it doesn't have to be perfect. 3, 2, and 1. Reverse it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left foot comes down. You're going to take a second right here. Feet stay about hips distance. You can take your left hand away from the chair. We're going to do about a halfway squat just to get some bending into the knees and bending at the hips. Okay, so you're going to inhale, send your hips down and back. Just go about halfway, right about there, and then press into your heels. You'll come right back up. We'll work a little bit more on our squat and lunge foundations with our next standing class. So if this feels a little bit like funky or you're just feeling like not super comfortable with your squat, that's okay. We're gonna work on it. Don't you worry, and you can come back to this. Good, let's do 2 more like this. We'll go down and then come up. We go down and then up, and you're gonna pause right there at the top, keeping the feet about hips distance. We do a soft bend into the knees. I want you to shift over into your left leg, and if you feel like you need some support, you just grab for that support with your left hand. On your left side, you have your hip, your knee, and your ankle all in line. You get a little bit lighter through your right toes. And we're just bent into that left knee about like a quarter of the way. It's nothing wild, but we have a slight hinge forward at the hips. I'll show you from the side too what this should look like. We take the right leg. I want you to step your right toes out and then pull the right toes back in. You'll go out and then back in. I need to scoot away from my chair. We go out and then back in. And that's all it is, right? You go out and then back in. Now let me show you from this side. You keep moving from right here. We have a little hinge forward. So from your tailbone up your spine, out the crown of your head, you're on a diagonal. Let's just do 2 more. Out and in. 1 more. Out and in. And then stand all the way up. Take a second. When you're ready, we're still shifted over into that left leg. We go down about a quarter of the way into our squat. We have that slight hinge forward, and that movement initiates from your hips. You can reach for your chair. We get lighter through the right toes. Now you're going to step back. Tap the toes back. Bring them right back in. Tap back. And then come in. Tap back. And then come in. Can you take your hands away from your support? It's okay if the answer is no. Let's do 3 more. Back and in. 2. 1 more. Good. And then you stand all the way up. You take a second. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to move away from my support just so that I can move, but you can turn the other way or come around to the other side of your chair or your wall, whatever you need. Feet about hips distance apart. We shift our weight so we're supported in that right leg. We can feel the heel, the big toe, the outside edge of the foot pressing down. We bend into the knees about a quarter of the way. Get lighter through your left toes. We start by stepping out towards the left. It'll be a step out and then a pull in. Now here, we're trying to move the left leg without moving the right. You'll see in my body, I get a little bit of a lean as my foot steps away, so I'm trying to eliminate that as best I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, so if you're not quite feeling like you're nailing it right now, that's okay. Likely if you're doing this beginner series, you are a beginner, right? So we don't, I don't expect you to really nail things on the head like right out of the gate. I expect it to take time. It's a Pilates practice. It's not a Pilates perfect. Let's do one more. And then stand up and take a second right there. Now again, I'm going to flip this way when you're ready. Again, we go about a quarter of the way down into that squat. Hands can reach for your support. We're staying where we are in the right leg. Get lighter through your left toes. You're going to step back and then bring it in. We'll step back and then bring it in. Good. Back and in. Now, can you feel your right heel pressing into the mat? If the answer is no, can you focus on putting a little bit more pressure into that heel? And when you do that, when you press into your heel, can you feel your glute? And can you feel your hamstring, the back of the leg? Let's do 2 more like this. 2. 1 more. And then come up to stand. Take a second right there at the top. Okay, you can do a little march through the legs. That builds heat kind of quickly. It's like a little bit shocking. Even for people that have been doing Pilates a long time, you get just a little bit down into that squat and you start focusing on stabilizing and doing things single leg. It's tough. It is tough. We get stronger and it is still tough. Feet stay about hips distance apart. This time we work a little bit more on balance, right? So we still have that contact point with our moving leg. Here I want you to bend into both knees. We're standing up as tall as we can, shoulders on top of the hips. Pressing down into that left heel, can you reach the right leg out by your side, pointing the toe? Now we're trying to anchor down into that left leg. Left hand has your support. We take the right leg. Can you lift it up and then lower? Can you keep it lifted? If the answer is no, you tap the toe down every time, and that's cool. Lift and lower just for 3. You're going to lift and lower for 2. Lift and lower. 1 more. You'll lift and lower. Hold it right there. I'm going to turn this way. Take your right leg. Can you reach it back behind you? Now you take a little hinge forward, just a tiny one, so we can really move that right leg. Still pressing down into your left heel. Right leg is going to lift a little bit and then lower. We'll lift and lower. We won't do very many here. Let's do 3 and lower for 2. And then 1 more. Good. Right foot can come in. We're gonna do one last balance exercise on this side, pressing down into that left heel. Now the right foot comes in front of you and a little bit out, so your feet are just slightly wider than hips distance. We're still trying to anchor down into that left side. We're standing up tall, shoulders on top of the hips. Now can you lift the right leg up and then lower it down? Lift and lower. Just feel how that slight change in leg position feels different. For 3 and lower for 2 and then 1 more. Okay. Right foot comes down. Same things on the other side. So if you need to shake it out a little bit, shake it out. If that got into your hips kind of quickly, just give them a little tap, shift it over into your right side, slight bend into the knee. We're trying to stay lifted and upright, shoulders on top of the hips. Little bend into that right side. Take your left foot, reach it out, get lighter through the left toes. Exhale, you're going to lift and then lower. Good. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. And if you can reach for your support and you feel like you need it, reach for your support. Give yourself a little bit of help. Lift and lower just for 3. Lift and lower. For 2, I'm really trying to focus. My balance, I know, is not doing so well today. 1 more. Lift and lower. And it's normal for things to be different day to day and side to side. Same thing. Right foot stays down, left leg is going to reach back. We have just that slight lean forward or hinge forward from the hips. We take our left leg, you're going to lift and then lower. And that lift initiates from your glute, from your butt for 4, for 3. Good, for 2. And then 1 more. Good, we bring things down, you take a second. Okay, it's the last lift we have to do. We stay anchored into that right side. We stand upright, taking the left leg in front, but a little bit to your side. So your feet are tracking right in line with these 2 front points of your hips. Whew, tuck the tailbone, stand up tall, soft bend into that right knee. You're going to lift the left leg and lower it down. Lift and lower. Good. Lift and lower. Let's just do 4. And lower. Good. For 3. And lower. For 2. And then 1 more. Good. Left foot comes in. Take a second right here. Let's march through the legs. Just lifting 1 knee up in line with the hip. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like to use a march as a kind of release and reset through the hips and the legs and all of that good stuff. Good. Let's do 2 more each side. Right side lifts and left. 1 more, lift and lift, and then both feet go down. Feet are going to go about hips distance apart. Now with the first standing class, we ended with 4, or no, I guess we didn't end with 4 standing roll downs, but we did them in the first standing class. We'll do them again right here. Inhale, stand up tall, relax the shoulders. Exhale like you're falling asleep on an airplane, nod your chin to your chest, round forward through your shoulders. Hands can slide down the front of your legs, soft bend into your knees, round, 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 round. Inhale once you feel like you can't go anymore. Exhale, press into your heels, come all the way back up to stand. Shoulders on top of hips, crown of the head lifts up. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Good, and your hands can travel down the front of your leg. I find that helps. Anytime you can find more contact points, either with your body, with the mat, or with the ground, it will only help you to continue to deepen your mind-body and mind-muscle connection. Exhale, round. One more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale at the bottom, exhale as you roll yourself all the way back up, shoulders on top of hips, crown of the head lifts up. Good. Relax the shoulders down and back, and that is where we will end for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this standing class. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about your balance. You're feeling a little bit more confident working single leg. I am really hopeful that you're enjoying this beginner series as well. Remember, you're awesome. You can do anything you put your mind to, and I will see you back here for our next beginner class.